And then just in the last 30 or 60 days, we've seen a big run up in the crypto prices. So now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, maybe this crypto winter is starting to thaw. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future, but the ETF applications that have been filed, about a dozen of them by the biggest financial institutions in the world, is a huge endorsement. It's going to bring in new pools of capital. Next year, I think the move to layer 2 solutions is going to improve the scalability of crypto enormously. I think that's going to be a huge thing, kind of like moving from dial-up to broadband on the internet. I think there's a Bitcoin halvening next year. The emerging regulatory clarity, 83% of the G20 countries are working on crypto legislation now. So I think all these factors are going to lead to hopefully a good outcome next year for crypto.
Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has given 4 reasons why he thinks the cryptocurrency bull run in 2024 and 2025 will be great and generally good for digital assets. This comes less than 2 weeks after he said that Bitcoin might be the key to extending Western culture. Armstrong, who is now being called crypto's last big man, says that the industry will get 4 great things during this bull run. The last bull run, when 3 of these things were missing, could have been seen as limiting the industry's potential. A spot Bitcoin ETF was approved by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Layer 2 scaling solutions were created, and countries like the U.S. finally got clear on regulations. The 2024 Bitcoin split event was also planned. If a spot Bitcoin ETF is approved, for example, it will give thousands of institutional investors who are currently waiting to buy digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others a reason to do so. Some crypto experts, critics, and analytics firms think that in the 12 to 18 months after the SEC gives the go-ahead, that huge amount of money could grow from about $30 billion to over $300 billion, bringing more money into the industry. On the other hand, Layer 2 scaling solutions look like a good way to get around the problems that come with Layer 1 blockchain's limited ability to grow. This will make transfers faster, more efficient, and less expensive. Now that 2 problems have been solved, the only thing left for the industry to solve is regulatory clarity. This is especially important in the U.S., where groups like the CC and lawmakers like Senator Elizabeth Warren are still doing everything they can to stop the cryptocurrency industry from growing and existing. Luckily, people in charge of the industry, like Brian Armstrong, are actively fighting against the false stories. The other part of this video will show you how by talking about the latest fight between Coinbase SEC Chair Gary Gensler and the U.S. legal system. A recent talk between Brian Armstrong and Toby Lutt, a Coinbase board member and CEO of Shopify, is in this video, which looks like it will be very interesting and helpful. Please watch this whole video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get more crypto movies. All of the things you do help YouTube's system and make the channel bigger. Thanks and have fun with the movie. Armstrong talks about how smart the Bitcoin white paper was and how it inspired him to become such a big name in the industry in the first part of the chat. It was December 2010 when I read the Bitcoin white paper for the first time. Also, read it if you haven't already. It's pretty hard to understand. It's pretty thick. It took me a lot of readings to fully understand it. But at the most basic level, it is a great step forward in computer science. It was given to us in the form of a well-written thesis, and we still don't know who did it. And that's kind of a strange thing on its own. But I guess you could go back even more years if you fast forward. I had learned about computers and money then. While I was in college, I was interested in both of those things, but I didn't know how they might change over time. I lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina for a year. Just by chance, I learned about what happens to a country when it has hyperinflation. One of the first people to work at Airbnb. I was a software worker who helped them get payments into and out of 190 countries. I saw how tough that was. A few of those kinds of things happened to me, and at the time, I wouldn't have been able to see any kind of link between them. But those things got me ready for the moment. When I read the Bitcoin white paper for the first time in December 2010, I believe I saw it on Hacker News. I remember telling myself, this feels really important. This might have been the most important thing I've read in a long time. I wasn't sure how it would all end, though. This is how I began. I should also say that the thought of economic freedom has always excited me. Property rights, free trade, and sound money were kind of some places in the world didn't have them. And it was very bad for those places and the people who lived there that they didn't have good economic freedom and good financial infrastructure. So, when I read the Bitcoin white paper, I thought, wow, this could be as strong as the internet. No one is in charge of this world decentralized system. That's what gives it kind of permissionless access. No one else can change it. And if we use this new decentralized protocol, we could give all of these countries around the world good, healthy banking infrastructure. This would make the economies of these countries more free. So that was the first thought. In fact, I remember thinking I was crazy because I couldn't stop thinking about it. When I talked to best friends about Bitcoin in 2011, they said, I don't get it. That's when I started going to early meetups in San Francisco. Why would anyone use made-up money like this? That looks like you're up to some kind of scam because Bitcoin isn't going to work out. At that time, I had a lot of doubts about it. I thought, this is really cool. There's something very interesting about it, but most of the people I talked to weren't excited about it. So I had to take a swing into the unknown. To make a long story short, getting that first $150,000 check from Combinator gave me the courage to quit my job and give it a real shot. Crypto has probably been through 4 or 5 of these rounds where people get too excited for no reason and then it crashes, making them too pessimistic. That's why I always tell people, it's never as good or bad as it seems. There are some basic things you need to look at, like how many deals happen every day. How much value is locked up in all of these things on chain? Those are sometimes better ways to judge something than just looking at the price. I tell entrepreneurs in the crypto space that they haven't really tried their idea until they've seen it go through at least one turn in crypto. Whether it's from bottom to top or between the two. This is because many people start their business or plan when the market is going up, and when it goes down, they think it's all over. This makes them sad, and it makes it harder to get money. Most of the time, though, these rounds last about 3 years. So you haven't really tried your idea if you can't make it through at least one ride. Lots of people who say that the very high volatility of the cryptocurrency market is a reason not to buy crypto assets only look at the moves to the upside, which are just as wild and risky. If the 70 or 80% drop make you not want to invest in crypto assets, you should at least think about the bigger gains. What's more, when the best crypto assets have gone down by a lot of value, they've always found a way to rise again. This is a big accomplishment that can only be done in the cryptocurrency business. Also, if you don't invest in different asset classes like crypto, you'll always be stuck with traditional assets that were built on the unstable fiat system. Armstrong wrote on X on December 4 that currencies like the US dollar will keep losing value until they are worth only a small part of what they are worth now, which is already a small part of what they were worth decades ago. Let's go back to the interview, where the CEO of Coinbase talks about what he thinks the bull run in 2024 and 2025 will be like. Yes, it was really annoying. We felt like we were following the rules at board meetings over the last few years, which you may have seen some of this. That is the right way to do it. But these unregulated trades in other countries keep popping up. Their new goods don't have any know your customer key control. From what we can tell, the things they're selling are against the law. People from the US are going to these events and signing up for them. They may have had a US entity that said us customers were going to. But everyone in the industry knew that us citizens could pretty easily get around KYC and end up on their main site. In a way, their US business was like a fig leaf for us officials. We kept telling ourselves this can't last. Even though authorities don't always act right away, today is going to be a very bad day when they do. All of that happened, so we were right. But I can tell you, it hurt at the time. We saw our market share slowly lose ground over and over again. Billionaires worth of money just moved to these platforms from other countries because they moved so fast and broke so many rules at the same time. For that reason, I believe it's bad for the business that several companies have gone out of business, and CEOs will likely be sentenced here in February. I'm proud that Coinbase stuck to its guns and didn't try to cut corners. They had a long-term view. That being said, I think it's time to End this chapter or turn the page on the crazy wild west of these offshore unregulated exchanges. That way, the many companies that are trying to build in this space legally can compete on a level playing field, which is how it should be. As of now, 2022, a lot of things in crypto have gone bad. For example, all growth stocks, including Coinbase, dropped sharply when interest rates went up, and the crypto winter got even worse when FTX went up. We had to change a lot of things, like how we set our prices to be able to work in that setting. In Q2 and Q3, we got our finances back on track, made some cash, and made sure the business was the right size. But in the last 30 or 60 days, crypto prices have gone up a lot. Anyway, I'm now thinking maybe this crypto winter is beginning to melt. We don't know what will happen in the future, but the fact that about a dozen of the world's largest financial institutions have filed for ETFs is a huge sign that they're a good idea. They will bring in new pools of capital. In a way, I think the enforcement measures have helped people mentally turn the page and say, okay, justice has been done, the market has been hurt, and we can still grow from here. Now, I think that the switch to layer 2 options next year will make crypto much easier to use on a large scale. That's going to be a big deal, like when you switch from dial-up to speed internet. I believe Bitcoin will be cut in half next year. I think that next year will be a pretty good one. As regulations become clearer, you should know that 83 of the G20 countries are currently working on crypto laws. I think that all of these things will probably lead to a good year for crypto next year. As for us, our only goal is to keep our heads down, keep growing, and try not to be distracted by the news and noise. All of this is very shocking, but I think we'll be in great shape if we can just make good products for our buyers and stay away from stupid things for now. As I said at the beginning of the video, let's quickly move on to the new fights between Coinbase and the SEC. A post on December 15 by Coinbase Global's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, said that the SEC had turned down the company's request for crypto rules. The petition, which was sent on July 21, 2022, said that the commission should make big, personal rules on its own to set up a new system for regulating crypto asset stocks. Grewal says that the SEC didn't answer the petition and only did so after Coinbase went to court to get the answer the law required. Here is what Armstrong said in answer to what the SEC said. It's not a surprise that Gary Gensler turned down the plea because he said there are already laws and rules in place that cover the crypto securities market. The head of the SEC also said that the commission deals with the market for crypto securities by making rules, and that it is important for the commission to keep its independence when choosing which rules to make first. In the United States, it looks like the cryptocurrency industry has a long way to go before it gets fair rules. This is especially true if people like Gensler and Warren stay in their position. What do you think about Armstrong's talk and the SEC's answer to Coinbase's request for more information about the rules? Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the area below. Make sure you like this movie, follow the channel, and turn on pot notifications to see more videos. Thank you for watching. You're being asked to be a part of our story, not just an investment. When you participate, you become more than just an investor. You become a part of the future of smart money. There are no cheesy lines, just a real call to start this trip together. There's more, though, if you decide to accept it. Your job is to become a smart advocate. Feel free to share our films on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, among other places. Your shares make us more visible, which could lead to more views and more money from YouTube. The catch is this: if we get more watchers, we won't just make more money. We'll also make a real difference by teaching people important things about money. Here's the cherry on top: if you invest, you'll be able to join our special Savvy Finance Discord channel. You can talk to smart people about money, share ideas with other investors, and be the first to know about cool new things. To set up your Gigastar account, click on the link below. In the text below, you can also find a link to my giving page. Prepare your Gigastar account and read over the details of the offer. Then, let's start this exciting journey together. Thank you to the incredibly smart community for being the key to our success. Your journey is my journey, and we're making waves together. Thank you.